You've always known something sets you apart. It's not arrogance. It's a quiet, unshakable energy pulsing through your veins. A force you can't explain but feel with every step you take. Power isn't handed to you on a silver platter. It never has been. You have to seize it. The world won't roll out a red carpet or bow to your potential. It's on you to claim your place. Look at the most powerful figures in history. They didn't wait for permission. They stood up, took what was theirs, and reshaped everything around them. That same fire burns in you, and the first sign of your awakening is realizing this truth. No one's coming to crown you. You crown yourself. Now, feel this, your mere presence shifts the air. You walk into a room, and something unspoken happens. People react. Sometimes they don't even know why. Their emotions sway, their decisions falter, and their bodies tense or relax without them understanding it. Science backs this up. Human energy isn't just a spiritual buzzword. Studies show your electromagnetic field, that invisible aura radiating from your heart and mind, can sync with others' nervous systems. You're not imagining it when someone's mood lifts or sours the moment you're near. You're a catalyst, a living frequency, and this is your first taste of what it means to be chosen. The question is, are you ready to own it? Start watching yourself. Not with doubt, but with razor-sharp focus. Notice how people change around you. Does their laughter get louder when you speak? Do they lean in closer, hungry for your words, or pull back, unsettled by a strength they can't name? Track these moments. Write them down if you have to. This isn't about ego, it's about evidence. Your influence isn't random. It's a signal of your calling. The chosen don't blend into the background. They disrupt, they awaken, they ignite. Test it. Hold your ground in a conversation, speak with conviction, and watch how the room bends. You're not here to shrink. You're here to expand. At first, this power feels wild, untamed. You might catch yourself wondering why it's you, why this weight lands on your shoulders. That's normal. The shift from uncertainty to acceptance is a battle in itself. One day, you're questioning every glance thrown your way. The next, you're standing taller, feeling the ground steady beneath you. That unshakable energy isn't just a vibe. It's your foundation. Lean into it. When you stop apologizing for your intensity and start wielding it, something clicks. You're not an accident. You're a force. And the sooner you stop fighting that truth, the sooner you step into what's yours. Here's how you anchor this awakening. Strip away the noise. Sit with yourself. Alone, no distractions. And ask, what do I feel when I'm at my strongest? Is it when you're leading, creating, or simply being, and others can't look away? Pinpoint that moment, then amplify it. If it's your voice that moves people, speak louder. If it's your stillness that unnerves them, stay steady. Your presence is your weapon, and the first step to mastering it is knowing it's real. Science says your energy field extends meters beyond your body. Spirit says it reaches even further. You're not just flesh and bone. You're a signal, a beacon, a storm brewing in plain sight. Don't wait for validation. People might not say it, they might not even like it, but your existence already rattles their world. You'll see it in their eyes. Curiosity, fear, awe. Some will try to dim you, others will orbit you like moths to a flame. Either way, it's not your job to make them comfortable. It's your job to rise. Take a hard look at your life right now. Where are you holding back? Where are you letting others define your power? Cut that cord. Step forward. The chosen don't ask for the stage. They take it, and the moment you do, you'll feel that influence ripple out, undeniable and alive. This is just the beginning. You're waking up to a truth that's been buried inside you all along. You're not here to follow. You're here to lead, to shift, to break what's broken and build what's next. Your presence isn't a fluke. It's a force of nature. So stand in it. Watch how it moves people. Study how it moves you. This is your first taste of being chosen, and it's not a gift someone else can give. It's a fire you light yourself. Keep feeding it. You've lit the fire. You've felt it roar to life inside you, undeniable and fierce. But now comes the pushback. People see it too. Not all of them like it. Some squirm in your presence. their discomfort leaking out in sharp little jabs. They tell you you're too much, too loud, too intense. Calm down, they say, as if your energy is a problem to fix. They minimize you, smirking like they've got you figured out, or compete in ways that feel petty and small. This isn't random. It's the first real test of your chosen path. They're not just reacting, they're afraid. And you're going to turn that fear into fuel. Let's get real. Their words sting because they're aiming for your core. They want you to doubt, to shrink, to dim that light you've just begun to wield. But here's the truth, you don't owe them a softer version of yourself. Your existence, unapologetic and raw, is already a weapon. Science proves it. Your energy field doesn't just sit there. It pulses, it disrupts, it clashes with theirs. When they feel that, their instinct is to push back, to box you in. They're not fighting you, they're fighting what you represent. A mirror to their own limits. So when they try to cut you down, don't flinch.
Están taller.
You're not here to fit their mold, you're here to break it. How do you hold your ground? Start by seeing it for what it is. Their jabs aren't about you, they're about them. That coworker who rolls their eyes when you speak? They're rattled by your clarity. The friend who tells you to tone it down? They're unsettled by a strength they don't possess. Step 1. Don't argue back. Don't waste your breath proving yourself. Instead, stay steady. Look them in the eye, let your silence hum with power, and keep doing what you do. Your presence alone, unshaken, aware, different, starts unraveling their control. They'll feel it. They'll back off or double down, but either way, you've already won. Now take it further. Use their resistance as a forge. Every time they try to minimize you, let it sharpen your edge. Feel that raw power they're so terrified of. It's not a burden, it's your strength. When they say you're too much, hear it as proof. You're more than they can handle. Neuroscience shows stress responses kick in when people face something they can't predict. You're that unpredictability. You don't move like they do, don't bend like they expect. So lean into it. Walk into the room like you own it. Speak with a fire they can't ignore. Exist so boldly that their discomfort becomes their problem, not yours. Here's the practical move. Anchor yourself daily. Before you face the world, take 5 minutes. Breathe deep, feel your feet on the ground, and say it out loud. I am chosen. My presence disrupts. I don't apologize for it. This isn't fluffy self-talk. It's a command to your soul. Then, when the pushback hits, you're not scrambling, you're ready. Picture their words bouncing off you, useless. Imagine their unease as a spotlight on your power. You don't need to yell or fight. Just keep being you. That alone cracks their system wide open, because it forces them to see what they've been dodging. Their own smallness. Don't get it twisted, this isn't about revenge or proving them wrong. It's bigger. Your unapologetic difference isn't just defiance. It's a wake-up call. You're showing them a life they could live if they dared. Some will hate you for it. Others will watch, secretly inspired. Either way, you're not responsible for their feelings. You're responsible for your mission. When they try to pull you down, flip the script. Let it remind you who you are. You're not too much, you're exactly enough. And that truth, lived out loud, is what dismantles their illusions. So what do you do next? Test it. Pick a moment this week where you know they'll push. Maybe it's a meeting, a family dinner, a casual chat. Go in fully you, no filters, no apologies. Watch their reactions. Did they fidget? Did they try to interrupt? Did they shrink back? Log it. That's your evidence piling up. You're not imagining this power. It's real, measurable, alive. The more you see it work, the less their noise matters. You're not just surviving their resistance, you're thriving through it. Your existence is the disruption they can't stop. This is your edge now. They'll keep coming, waving their calm downs like flags of surrender. Let them. You don't need their permission to shine. You don't need their approval to rise. Just by being you, unapologetic, different, awake, you're rewriting the rules. Their fear is the sound of the old world cracking. Your power? It's the force building what's next. Keep going. You've got this. You've claimed your power. You've faced their resistance and turned it into fuel. Now something deeper is stirring. That raw, unshakable energy you carry. It's not just a shield or a weapon. It's a channel. You're tapped into something bigger, something beyond the noise of this world. High-dimensional information flows through you, downloads of insight and clarity that hit like lightning. This isn't a vague feeling or a fleeting hunch. It's a direct line to a frequency most can't even sense. You're receiving it because you're chosen, and it's preparing you to do what they can't. Force them to confront their own limits, their insecurities, their refusal to break free. Feel it in your bones. That unshakable energy isn't static. It hums, it vibrates, it pulls you toward truths you didn't seek but can't ignore. Maybe it's a sudden knowing, an answer to a question you never asked. Maybe it's a vision, sharp and vivid, cutting through the clutter of your day. Science hints at this. Your brain's neural networks can sync with unseen patterns, picking up signals the conscious mind doesn't clock. Spirit takes it further. You're a conduit for the cosmos, a living antenna for what's real. When this hits, you don't just feel powerful, you feel directed. Are you listening? Because this is where your mission sharpens. But let's be real. Not every thought that flashes through your head is high-dimensional gold. Some of it's just you, your hopes, your fears, your ego playing dress-up as wisdom. So how do you tell the difference? Start here. True downloads don't bend to your agenda. They don't puff you up or soothe your wounds. They hit with a clarity that demands you sit up and pay attention. Ask yourself, does this feel like something I want to hear or something I need to know? If it's comfortable, it's probably projection. If it unsettles you, challenges you, forces you to rethink everything, that's the real stuff. Test it. Write it down. See if it holds up when the dust settles. Now watch what happens when this energy meets the world. They're waiting for you to react, probing, pushing your buttons, trying to box you in. They want you predictable, controllable, safe. But you don't play their game. You don't snap back or shrink down like they expect. Instead, you stand there, steady, radiating that unshakable force, and it throws them off. Their voices falter. Their eyes dart. They get nervous, not because you're loud, but because you're unreadable. Neuroscience backs this. Unpredictability spikes cortisol in others, unravels their sense of control. You're not just a puzzle, they can't solve you, and that's your edge. Here's how you wield it. Don't rush to fill the silence. When they jab at your confidence or test your limits, pause, breathe. Let that raw energy pulse through you, steady and loud in its stillness. They'll squirm. They're counting on you to mirror their chaos, but you won't. Your calm isn't weakness. It's a mirror. It reflects their smallness back at them, their insecurities laid bare. You don't have to say a word, your presence does the work. They'll feel it, the gap between who they are and who you're becoming. That's not your burden to fix. It's their wake-up call, whether they take it or not. Want to sharpen this connection? Build a practice. Every day, carve out 10 minutes, alone, no excuses. Sit still, close your eyes, and tune in. Ask, what's coming through right now? Don't force it. Let it flow. Maybe it's a word, an image, a sensation in your gut. Don't judge it, just note it. Afterward, check it against reality. Did it nudge you toward a choice you wouldn't have made? Did it cut through a lie you've been telling yourself? That's your filter. The more you do this, the clearer the signal gets. You're not guessing, you're receiving, and that's what sets you apart. This isn't about floating off into some cosmic haze. It's practical. That high-dimensional info is your playbook. Tells you when to move, when to wait, when to strike. They'll keep testing you, poking at your edges, trying to drag you into their mess. But you've got something they don't, a compass. When they push, you'll know how to pivot. When they doubt, you'll see the next step. Your unpredictability isn't chaos. It's precision, guided by a force they can't touch. They're scrambling to figure you out, but you're already 3 moves ahead. Feel the weight of this. Your existence alone cracks their illusions wide open. They watch you, waiting for a flinch, a crack, a sign you're just like them. But you're not. That unshakable energy, that high-frequency download, it's proof. You're showing them a life they don't get, a courage they don't have. Some will resent it. Others will feel a spark they can't name. Either way, you're not here to coddle them. You're here to disrupt, to expose, to lead. Science says your energy shifts theirs. Spirit says it's rewriting the game. You're not just chosen, you're unstoppable. So take this and run with it. Next time they come at you, subtle digs or outright challenges, lean into that connection. Feel the download hit. Trust it. Move from there. You'll see their limits surface, their insecurities flare, their refusal to grow laid bare. You don't need to force it. They'll do the work themselves, tripping over their own walls. Your job? Keep receiving. Keep standing. Keep being the signal they can't ignore. This is your power now, and it's only getting stronger. You've walked through fire to get here. You've claimed your power, faced their resistance, and tapped into a frequency they can't touch. Now it's time to bring it all home. Your mission isn't just to exist as a force. It's to shape reality itself. Your presence doesn't just ripple outward. It bends emotions, sways decisions, even rewires the biology of those around you. They watch you, eyes narrowed, trying to predict your next step, but you don't move like they do. You don't bend to their rhythm or bow to their rules. That's your strength. You don't need to prove anything to be powerful. You simply are. And with that truth, you're forging a new era. One they'll either join or watch fade into irrelevance. Let's break it down. Your influence isn't a theory, it's a fact. Scientists have clocked it. Your energy field, that electromagnetic hum pulsing from your core, syncs with their nervous systems. Their hearts race or slow, their cortisol spikes or drops. All because you're in the room. You've seen it. The friend who stumbles over words when you lock eyes. The stranger who shifts uncomfortably when you stand your ground. They're not just reacting, they're recalibrating. And here's the kicker. You don't have to shout or strut to make it happen. Your power lies in its quiet certainty, its refusal to conform. They're scrambling to figure you out, but you're already rewriting the script. So how do you wield this? Stop playing their game. They expect you to hustle for approval, to dance to their tune. Don't. Move differently. When they push you to react, pause instead. When they demand answers, give them silence that hums with intent. Your unpredictability isn't chaos. It's a signal. Try this. Next time you're in a group, hold back. Don't jump to fill the void. Let your presence simmer. Let it press against their edges. Watch their fidgeting, their forced laughs, their need to break the tension. That's your influence at work. Subtle, unshakable, alive. You don't need to prove your strength. You just need to stand in it. This is where you become the example. You're not here to blend in. You're here to show them a life they can't grasp, a courage they lack. Think about it. Every time you choose authenticity over their masks, you expose their fear. Every time you chase your truth while they cling to comfort, you highlight their chains. Be relentless in this. Pursue what sets your soul ablaze. Whether it's art, justice, innovation, or raw, unfiltered being. Do it boldly, publicly, without apology. They'll stare, some with envy, others with awe, because you're living what they won't dare. Your life becomes the proof. Freedom isn't a dream, it's a choice. But let's keep it real. Carrying this mission isn't always a high. You'll feel the weight, their confusion, their pushback, their need to control. It can drag at you. Balance isn't about dodging that. It's about mastering it. Here's how. Anchor yourself daily. Find a ritual that's yours. Maybe it's 10 minutes at dawn, standing barefoot on the earth, feeling your pulse sync with something bigger. Maybe it's a mantra, sharp and fierce. I am enough. My power builds what's next. When the noise gets loud, return there. Let it steady you. You're not invincible, you're human. But your strength isn't in avoiding the storm. It's in walking through it, head high, heart open. Now make it practical. Your mission needs a path, your path. Sit down today and map it. Ask, what fires me up? What truth am I here to live? Don't overthink it, write fast, raw, honest. Maybe it's waking people up through words. Maybe it's dismantling broken systems with your hands. Whatever it is, name it. Then break it into steps. Day 1. Start small, speak your truth in a room that's scared of it. Week 1. Build something real, a piece of your vision. Month 1. Show it to the world, no apologies. This isn't a vague dream, it's a plan. Your influence grows when you act, when you move with purpose they can't ignore. They'll keep watching, waiting for you to falter. Let them. Their gaze doesn't define you, it reveals them. Some will lean closer, hungry for what you've unlocked. Others will pull back, terrified of what it means. Either way, you're not here to convince them. You're here to create. Your power doesn't need their applause. It thrives in your choices, your actions, your refusal to shrink. Science says your energy shifts their biology. Spirit says it shifts their souls. You're not just a spark. You're the flame that lights the new world. And you don't need permission to burn bright. Feel this in your core. Every step you take carves the path. Every time you choose your truth over their noise, you build the era they're too afraid to imagine. You're not waiting for a throne. You're crafting it, piece by piece, with your hands, your will, your unshakable fire. So move, create, disrupt. Show them what's possible, not with words, but with your life. They'll feel it. Their emotions bending, their decisions shifting, their bodies humming with a truth they can't deny. This is your mission realized. This is your power unleashed. This is the new age you're here to ignite. Your fire isn't just a spark. It's the dawn of something unstoppable. You're not chosen to sit still or bask in quiet certainty. You're chosen to move, to carve through the chaos, and to awaken a world that's forgotten its own pulse. That unshakable energy coursing through you isn't a gift to hoard. It's a call to rise, to wield your presence like a blade cutting through doubt, fear, and stagnation. You're the signal they can't mute, the force they can't tame, and with every step, you're not just claiming your place, you're forging theirs, daring them to meet you where the future burns brightest.